What's going on, Cantina patrons? He's Darth Paul, I'm Padawan Dave.
And welcome to the Mudhorn Cantina.
Here it is then, guys, the Hot Toys CMS 016 D38 Comic Masterpiece Diecast 000 from the Doctor Aphra series. Here is the figure then, 000. I think you were telling me he's sometimes referred to as Trip as well.
Right? Yeah, at least in the audiobook, she refers to him as a shorter name, as most Star Wars droids kind of have.
Yeah, and when you say she, we're talking, of course, about Doctor Aphra.
Yep.
That's like, this character is an original creation from that comic book series. Doctor Aphra herself was first introduced in the Darth Vader comic book series. I was looking up almost 10 years ago now. That's kind of crazy that she's already existed for that long, back in 2015. She then got her eventual series in 2016, and I've never read it. I think I've owned it from probably like 2017, 2018, at least the first issue. But yeah, you've obviously read the audiobooks.
Well, read or listened.
Or listened to, yeah, of course.
So yeah, I've actually listened to the audiobook twice. So that came out in 2020. I think the first time I listened to it in 2022. So obviously I then went and kind of looked up who the characters were. I knew briefly, but I hadn't seen the comic book in full. But yeah, I was very kind of happy to see these kind of expanded universe characters being kind of brought into Hot Toys and being made.
Because a comic masterpiece I mentioned at the beginning, that's what the CMS designation is, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I believe, so you were telling me before, I guess first and foremost, let's say this is die cast.
Yes.
I don't think they do too often.
No, that's right. It's usually a specialist figure. I think the mold is from the C-3PO Return of the Jedi.
Right.
I think so. It's not. So they've kind of got away with retooling an existing model.
Sorry to cut in, but especially for the fact that this is like a limited piece as well, right?
Yeah, that's kind of quite controversial. I think because obviously I think they put the BT1 kind of release up first for pre-order.
And that, if you guys don't know, is his companion, right? So he's like the 3PO and BT is the R2-D2
essentially.
of her, as her companions, essentially.
So this is a limited piece count. There's only 2,000 of these made worldwide.
Yeah.
But obviously the BT1 went up earlier for pre-order.
Right.
Which people may have done and then found out the next day or the next couple of days that this was going to be a limited piece.
Right, and would you have pre-ordered BT if you knew ahead of time? Yeah.
That you might not be able to get this one. Now, I missed this completely on Sideshow because it even went up as a timed order, not just a timed release.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough to get this from a seller in the UK, DP Toys Collectibles.
Yeah, we'll pop a link in the description below.
Yeah, they're sort of really good up-and-coming Hot Toys seller in the UK. So if you're in the UK and looking for Hot Toys, go and check them out. So as you mentioned, this is a die-cast figure, so the actual body is quite heavy. Yeah,
and like we were mentioning this off camera, the other thing that you would maybe criticise it for is it's not fully die-cast, is it, actually?
No, exactly. The hands and certain other bits on it are obviously plastic.
I think the faceplate as well, right?
Yes, I think so, yeah. But I guess because of it being somewhat posable and them having to be removed, maybe it's probably easier to make them that way, I guess.
I think so. I know I've got the Iron Man, like the I Am Iron Man figure is die-cast as well. I never really looked at that fully, so I don't know how. Obviously, like the head mold's not going to be die-cast, for instance. Let's put it that way. So I guess it's somewhat understandable, but the paint job is really, really good. He's kind of I don't know. Is that again someone that hasn't? Well, I guess you've only listened to the audiobooks though. Yeah, so having like a visual representation.
I mean, I've seen the characters in the expanded universe for years, and it's like, I guess it's like a pearlescent paint job.
Yeah.
Because
it's like a bluish tint, isn't it? Kind of like going around his head and shoulders.
Yeah, and even the shoulder. I think even on the stomach and even down the legs where the light captures it. So it's.
So I think that paint job is really cool, and likewise the you guys may not be able to tell there, but all the wiring, I guess, is it?
Yeah.
On the torso, that's actually individual pieces. So I do think that's quite cool, and there is a bit of posability, isn't there, with the torso? You can have it.
Yeah, you can kind of move it
backwards and forwards.
Yeah, there's not much with these, but then really, what are you going to really pose a protocol droid doing?
And that kind of leads me to actually what I should have mentioned a few minutes ago. If you guys have watched us open up Hot Toys here, or certainly before on our other channel, the Geek Lounge, we normally start by showing you like the base, the various different accessories, things like that, but there's not really a lot with this figure at all.
No, exactly. There's really only a couple of hands.
Yeah.
And the base, which really is that all there is to it.
Yeah, I mean, he's a droid after all. But having said that, some of the hands are very cool. What was the term you told me earlier? He's, what, etiquette and something? What was it?
So he's obviously, other than C-3PO, the world's most well-known protocol droid, obviously 000's programmed for etiquette and torture.
I just found that so funny. And I mean, yeah, as you can see there, these hands are just, it's like a bit of Edward Scissorhands going on.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what are they, like knives?
I think there's knives, blowtorch, like a skull cutter or whatever they're called that they
like
use
a
to cut
bone
the
saw
brain out.
or something like that. Yeah. I mean, it's just
various injections and
pretty gnarly. I mean, does he I assume he does torture people then
yes, essentially he's very much kind of willing to go that extra distance, I guess you'd say,
the extra mile
to serve his master. Obviously his programming comes from the 000 matrix.
That's what I was going to ask you. You were telling me this off camera
which
before,
is something that obviously Doctor Aphra steals and essentially installs in the protocol droid.
Yeah.
So it's...
And it was like, you were telling me something about it's a really dangerous...
Yeah, I think his program was created like thousands of years ago or hundreds of years ago, perhaps in the story, and obviously he was deemed too dangerous, so his program gets sent to a quarantine world and is kept isolated. Yeah,
and she obviously finds it or steals it and inserts it in her protocol droid to have him live on and have some adventures of, I guess, like, as you said, etiquette and torture. So as we said, the only other accessories are hands. There are 4 of them, but essentially you get 2 sets, a left and right of the pointer, and a left and the right of force lightning.
Or electrocution.
Electrocution. Right, that's just so gnarly, essentially. Maybe not as gnarly as those like Edward Scissorhands hands, but still pretty cool. Something I find very cool, you mentioned this, is the paint job on the like fingers in the palm of the hand where it's all blue to...
Yeah, so to simulate the actual lighting effect. Obviously, unfortunately, these don't light up. It would have been cool if maybe they could have ran wires down the arms and it powers off at the head, because, of course, one of the things we haven't mentioned yet is that the eyes light up on this figure. So
you take the faceplate off, you have those very tiny batteries, which I'm sure there's a designation type. I'm not really a battery enthusiast.
No, exactly.
I wouldn't know what they're called, but they come with most Hot Toys anyway. You pop that in, or pop them in I should say, switch the light on, and as you guys can see, he does have those evil red eyes. So with all that said, Darth, give me your final thoughts on this figure.
Yeah, as we say a lot around here, I think this is a really cool figure.
Yeah, cool. That word is said, well, maybe not so much here on the Mudhorn Cantina, on the Geek Lounge. I think that word's been spoken about 10 million times.
But yeah, I was really happy to pick this up. As I said, I'd actually already pre-ordered the BT1.
Okay, yeah.
So when, obviously I completely missed this because I think I was working or I was out during the day.
Yeah.
And then saw this had all gone on. I was like, oh God, what have I done now, kind of thing.
Yeah. Do you think Doctor Aphra will surely be on the way at some point then? Or
you'd think so, but we're still missing certain characters from certain things. Like we still don't have a Cal Kestis.
Yeah.
From
although
Fallen
Doctor
Order,
Aphra technically came first, right? These characters came
yes,
first.
true, but there have been other characters. So something I've got coming very soon is the Scout Trooper Commander.
Yeah.
From Fallen Order.
Okay, right.
So obviously that was announced quite some time ago, but obviously Sideshow Hot Toys have obviously released a ton of characters for pre-order recently. We've had all of the new Maul, the Revan,
the new Sith,
Star Killer. I'm really hoping they do a version 2 Count Dooku. That'd be my real figure.
I'm still hoping for a Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi myself.
Yeah, I still can't believe they haven't done one of those.
Especially now, the 25th anniversary.
Yeah, right? It was a prime choice.
And we've got Qui-Gon, we've got Maul. We just need Obi-Wan to complete that collection, essentially. But I guess one can only hope.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
And well, Cantina patrons, that brings us to the end of this episode. First and foremost, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend with us here on the Mudhorn Cantina. It is very much appreciated, and we hope you did enjoy the episode. If so, be sure to give it a thumbs up and drop some comments below. Let us know your guys' thoughts on this figure. Did you manage to pick one up? And what's a Star Wars hot toy you would like to see be made? And we of course have plenty more Star Wars goodness on the way for you guys. We drop new episodes every single Tuesday, and next week I think we were going to maybe look at the Darth Maul Legacy lightsaber, like the new one, if it of course arrives in time.
Yep, the new limited edition box set from Shop Disney, so hopefully that gets here in time, but obviously with them being probably busy for May 4th, it might take a while to dispatch.
Public holiday here in the UK as well this past Monday, so I guess we'll see. Make sure you stay tuned either way. What is the easiest way to stay tuned? It's pretty simple. Subscribe, hit click, smash that subscribe button and enable those notifications so you don't miss out on any of that future content. Guys, thanks again for watching this episode, and as always,
may the Force be with you.